Guys, I recorded a whole video. Well, not a whole video. I recorded a whole rant. You know how it is. I recorded a rant on this new camera that I got. Just looked at the footage and it's like this close to my face. I need to go get a different lens. So for now, I'm just gonna be using this camera. Sorry if it's not 1080. I basically am just gonna do a get ready with me while I rant about some stuff that I've been dealing with and that I've been thinking about. I've been having a week, not a good one. I just did my skincare. I basically put on my hyaluronic acid and then just my daily moisturizer to make sure that my skin is very moisturized and hydrated before I put makeup on. Otherwise, it's going to look extremely crepey. Like, I've been running into this issue where I'll use all my cream products and then when I powder certain areas, it like sticks to patches. I have stopped using the powder, but then I realized that like my cream products kind of just look oily after a while. So I'm at this impasse where I don't know what to do about this because I can't not use cream products. I just can't. My skin is not hydrated enough to do that. I did see something about like potentially the ingredients of my cream products and then my powder are like at odds with each other. I don't know which ingredients those would be, so it's hard for me to like do anything about it. Like I feel like on TikTok when I look at beauty gurus, like it looks perfect and I genuinely don't know how they're doing it. And like they always say, oh, well, you hydrate your skin and do this, and then it's like, yeah, I'm doing that, and then I'm using the same things. I don't know what this is like. I get it, I do get it. Like obviously the makeup people do for content is probably different than the makeup they wear outside. So maybe it does look the same and it's patchy and all that stuff. I don't know. Also, do I look like a little bit tan because I went to the Yankees game? I don't know if you can see, but I got sunburned. It was so hot and it was just like direct sun for like 4 hours straight, which I love. I'm ready. I'm ready for the heat. I'm ready to just be sweaty all the time. It's fine. Okay, so because I'm working from home and I'm just gonna do some errands in the afternoon, I'm not gonna wear like my foundation. I'm just gonna wear this tinted sunscreen that I have from Supergoop. It's SPF 50 and I feel like this is just easier for my day-to-day makeup and I just apply it with my hands. But yeah, so I have been having a rough week. I think I mentioned in a previous video that I have something called PMDD. I know a lot of people are familiar with PMS, but PMDD is a little bit less widely known and it's similar to PMS, meaning that it occurs around the menstrual cycle phases and it's triggered by the hormone shift. It resembles PMS in a lot of ways, but it's actually a diagnosed mood disorder because it's so intense that it's not just the standard PMS. It's like a dysphoria that occurs during women's periods. So for me, a lot of times when I'm suffering from PMDD, it'll be like a full 10 days. It exacerbates everything else that I'm already feeling. So if I'm stressed about work, it won't just be a normal stress. It'll be spiraling, catastrophizing. It'll be me waking up wanting to just rage quit, make impulsive decisions. And it feels like I genuinely am going insane because it applies to everything. So, you know, it's not just work. It'll be like in my relationship, I'll cause fights that I don't even have any grounds for. I will feel really bad about myself. I will think that I'm ugly. I'll look at myself and just hate what I see. It affects my thinking really, really deeply. Unfortunately, like there's really not a ton that can be done for it because it's just a genetic thing and it has to do with like the hormone changes that occur, which I can't control. Well, hold on. So let me put my concealer on. This is my Kosas concealer. I use the 2.3N and I just put it usually like under my eyes and then on my chin. So basically, I have just been like losing my mind and it's really hard because obviously I call it my hell week. During my hell week, I'm like aware of the fact that it could be my PMDD and that it probably is, but because my brain is just not functioning, I can't really like use just logic to calm myself down. My boyfriend was traveling for work And as you guys know, I am not happy with my current job, and I've just been feeling really unfulfilled and like not sure what my next move will be and what I want to be doing. And I've been considering taking the GRE for business school, and like I was feeling really, really low about the fact that my boyfriend's like traveling a lot for work. And I think that I grew up in a mindset where if you travel a lot for work, it means you're doing something important. So you could feel fulfilled, because those two things go hand in hand, which I'm not saying any of this is objectively true. I know that a lot of it is not true. It's truly just like the stories that I've told myself growing up, from the way that my mom told me about it and just like society. It was just like really deeply affecting me, and something that I really don't want is for my relationship to feel like a competition. Ever. I never want that. I know some people feel that way, and I've had people tell me that they've like had relationships where they were like constantly feeling like they had to show up their partner when it came to like how much money they were making, what they were doing. I never want that. And I just feel like because my job is so shitty right now, it's like becoming really hard for me to not feel like I'm behind, especially when my boyfriend is traveling and doing incredible work. And it's just like a constant reminder that I'm here doing nothing. Yeah, it just makes me feel like I'm constantly reminded that I'm not succeeding. Like it feels like I'm not succeeding because other people are out there being sent around the country to represent their companies and do all these things, and it feels like they are being appreciated and seen for their abilities, and I feel like I just don't have that at all right now. And like, it's not okay for me to be drawing parallels, and it's obviously going to make myself feel like shit. And it doesn't make sense to do that because, like, for example, I work in consulting. I am like one fish out of like 200,000 fish in the sea. And when it comes to like my boyfriend, for example, he works at a startup. It's like, why am I making myself feel bad about two different things, two different careers, two different, like completely different contexts? And I think it's because I grew up being taught that your career and what you do with your career makes you impressive or not impressive. And I guess maybe I feel like I'm not being impressive, and I want to be impressive, and I want to be impressive in the eyes of my boyfriend, and I want to be impressive in the eyes of my mom. In the end, it's just making me depresso. So yeah, that's one thing that I've been grappling with. Okay, I'm gonna use my Say liquid blush in Cutie. I also have been thinking, like, I had my GRE course that I have full access to and can be studying for at any point. I haven't been able to sit down and actually study for it. And so I was kind of thinking, like, why am I not able to do this? Like, usually when I want to do something and I really want something badly enough, I'm really good at like mental sprints, meaning I can sit there, work for 8 hours straight and grind on something to make sure that it happens. Like, and so I was like, why am I not able to do this? Like, I have a lot of time. So like, why have I not been able to just sit here and study? When I thought about it, I was like, I think it's just because I don't really think that I want to go to business school. And so when I started thinking about that, I was like, then why have I been telling myself that I'm going to do it? I feel like it comes from the same thing of wanting to be impressive. And I think I've been told, and I come from a generation of like, you should be this boss ass bitch. You should be going to graduate school, getting all of these like really competitive jobs, making all this money, because then that means you're killing it, and then you have the right to be confident about yourself. And so I think I view going to business school as like, one, maybe a way to get out of my job, but two, something that people will look at and will make a judgment about me that I'm smart and I'm competent. And I feel like when I think about it, I feel confident about myself. I know this doesn't sound like it, but I feel confident about my abilities and my intellect and all of those things. But where I don't feel confident about is I don't want other people to underestimate me. And it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter if people judge me or underestimate me or make assumptions about my education or my work background. It shouldn't matter, but it does. And I think like this job search process too brings a lot of feelings to the surface of like, maybe no one's ever going to look at me and make the judgment that I am smart unless I like have fucking Harvard Business School on my resume. Yeah, I've been feeling really strange about all of this because on the one hand, I'm now becoming aware of the bad motivations that I had for these things. And now I'm kind of like, I don't think that I would ever be happy if that's what I'm chasing. If I'm chasing the approval of other people to make me feel seen, I'm never gonna be happy. It's really hard because I think my generation is different than Gen Z. Like, at least for me, as a millennial, oh yeah, this is the Merit bronzing stick in clay. I was raised in a society where it was like, women are going to be CEO of every company and women should strive to be just as much of a boss as men, and that's like how you would feel confident. I guess I grew up, for example, idolizing people like Steve Jobs and Mark Zuckerberg, and we all wanted to be that. That was like what my generation, at least, I think, for me, idolized. Like, I wanted to be the next CEO. It didn't even matter what it would be for. I was just like, I want to be a business person. I want to be a business person. That's my dream. And I remember growing up being like, I have to be the next like Steve Jobs to change the world. I want to have this really big impact on everything, which is probably, one, obviously not healthy, but like, is that narcissistic? Maybe I have like, let's not go over that right now. I grew up wanting to be like, I want to be this super impressive creator, founder, touch millions of lives by creating something that's used by everyone. I don't know. I just had that sort of dream, and that's not happening. Yeah, clearly that's not happening. Also, like, I don't even have that desire anymore. Like, I don't have any desire to start my own company. I don't want to run my own company. It seems like way too much work. I have no interest in doing that now that I'm like actually an adult. I don't want to do that. I don't have like this overwhelming feeling of like, I want to invent something. I don't have that. So genuinely, I think it was just coming from this place of like obligation where I felt like that's what would be the most fulfilling thing in life, is to be like a Steve Jobs. It's been really helpful to see the shift in mentality between millennials and Gen Z, because I might have grown up idealizing all of these CEOs, and now we have Gen Z who's like, I hate Mark Zuckerberg, I hate Jeff Bezos, all these people are terrible, and also embracing like a slower lifestyle and defining fulfillment in a totally different way than the way I at least was taught. Yeah, I've just been coming to like a lot of realizations there too. Maybe I'm not doing any of these things because I actually want to, or that it makes me actually happy, and it's more about impressing other people. But it used to be like, if it was impressing other people, it was also making me happy. You know, like, I feel like it's hard to completely disconnect those things. At least for me, I know that like if my mom is proud of me and like my partner is proud of me, then I also will feel a certain amount of pride about myself. And I don't know if it's possible to like completely remove those things. I'm using my eyeshadow palette from, or not my eyeshadow palette, my eyeshadow stick from Julep in Smoky Tawny Matte, and then I'm just gonna buff it out. There's just a lot going on in my brain right now, and it sounds so stupid, but like, I remember one time my friend, or not my friend, my ex-friend was dating somebody, and she clearly felt insecure about, you know, maybe his past relationships before her. She would say like, oh, his exes don't matter because they were just like yoga instructors, or they were just like teachers, and I work in finance, so blah, 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 blah. Which is so, you don't need to tell me that that is like missing the entire point. But that's genuinely like, I think, a really good representation of how a lot of millennials view careers. And I don't want to be like that. I don't want to think that way. And the thing is that I don't. Like, I meet people all the time that have a really wide array of careers and interests and passions, and I always find something meaningful from like everyone. There's something to be learned from literally everyone. If you were just learning from the people that are in your immediate surrounding and in the same circles as you, you're obviously not gonna like learn that much about other perspectives or other things out there. And it's annoying because I know in my head that I don't think of people that way, but I don't apply it to myself. You know, maybe it comes from a place of being raised in an environment that felt like I had to earn love, and then like the love that I was given was really inconsistent. I think that definitely has a huge part in this, and I've also been thinking about that too. Like I've been thinking about attachment styles and how I think that I have a fearful avoidant attachment, and I've just been spiraling. Like I've just been spiraling about having to change all of these mentalities because all of these mentalities are hurting me. I am overwhelmed right now. I also feel like when I'm in a relationship and like when we get into an argument, which is always normal, like conflict is normal in any long-term friendship or relationship. This is the NYX Epic Wear eyeliner, and I'm just using a brown shimmer. But whenever there's like conflict, my reaction during conflict is to like run away and want to break up, because it feels like in my messed up way of thinking, I'm convinced that, oh, we're fighting, that means that we're gonna fail, like our relationship's gonna fail, and I should protect myself by getting out ahead of it. In reality, I don't want to break up at all. Like I actually don't want that at all. But it feels like I'm somehow predicting the future and that I can protect myself preemptively. And then, you know what? We don't break up because it's a normal argument and we move past it. And then I have to deal with the guilt of like saying that like, oh, it's not gonna work out and we need, like I have to deal with the guilt now. I feel guilty that I'm this avoidant person. I want to be supportive. I want to also give my partner security. And then it's like in those moments, I can't do it. I'm like convinced that like, oh, this isn't gonna work. This person's gonna hurt me. This is gonna like end up breaking my heart. I might as well just like save myself now. And then it's almost like self-fulfilling, where now it's like, oh, well, now I made my partner feel unsafe, and now I feel guilty, and now I feel insecure that things are gonna be damaged because of me. It's just like this, it's literally like the most annoying cycle, and I need to fix it. Like I cannot keep functioning like this. I know so many people deal with it, like I think it's more rare for people to have secure attachment styles, but it doesn't mean, like, I don't want to be broken. I want to be whole, and I just don't want to be this way. But yeah, so if you are a fearful avoidant, I feel you. I feel you so hard. I think there's also something to be said about like kids of Asian immigrant parents. I think we just culturally, the tiger mom stuff, I don't even know if it's a cultural thing or if it's just my mom, but I just felt like growing up, I never knew if my mom was gonna show up and love me or like hate me. If I wasn't doing well enough at something, and like even with like soccer, if I like didn't play well in a game, my mom would just like yell at me, and it just felt like she would never be happy or like proud of me unless I did an incredible job at something. And so I think that there's just a certain element of like having tiger mom parents that make you feel like love has to be earned all the time, and because of that it just feels like if something's going wrong, like you're fighting, you're not doing a good job at being in a relationship, and so this person's gonna leave you because you're fighting, and that's less than perfect, obviously is not how relationships work, but it's hard to like think straight when you have this sort of damage, and it's something that I'm grappling with, and I'm definitely trying to make these changes. Like I've been journaling again. I have not journaled in a while, so like I've been journaling again, and I've been doing it in my Notion, which makes it like a lot easier. I just feel like if I sit down and write, I first of all cannot write nearly as much because my hand will hurt, but also when it's in my Notion, I can access it from wherever I am. So if I feel like I'm spiraling and I'm not at home, at least I could just use my Notion app and like read something that's grounding from my previous entries or whatever. I never really done a ton of research on attachment styles, honestly. Not only do I have PMDD, but like I also have OCD, which is a whole other beast, and I don't need to go into that right now, but feel like, what was I saying? I don't even know. Oh no. Oh, what I was saying was, I feel like I haven't done a ton of research into like my attachment styles or anything because of my OCD, and like I've always kind of just concentrated on addressing my OCD. Now that I feel like my OCD at this point in my life is like way more under control than it was when I was in my earlier 20s. Now I think I need to actually think about stuff like this that doesn't have to do with a mental illness. It just has to do with personality and how you were raised. And when it comes to like relationships, it's not a disorder. It's just like imperfect styles of communicating or imperfect styles of feeling secure. And no one is perfect. And like, I know that they say there's normal like secure attachment, but I have yet to meet anyone that truly reflects that. So no one's perfect. And relationships are work. They are a commitment to working together and improving and learning how to be better with each other. Because you might be like really, really advanced and fucking evolved on your own. But that doesn't mean that you know how to coexist and also function perfectly with a different person. I'm trying to view this as like, there's nothing wrong with me. It's just a way to evolve, to grow, and to improve my life and also my relationships. So, and then I'm just gonna use my highlighting stick. I got this for free in like clothing that I ordered, and I guess they just gave this as a sample, but it's the Wander Beauty Blush and Illuminator. So I just put that on the bridge of my nose and then on my Cupid's bow. I'm not gonna put any on my cheekbones today because I need to figure out first how to make stuff look less greasy throughout the day. If I put on a lot of highlighter, I feel like it just makes everything look even oilier. But yeah, that's my rant on my mental health at the moment. My reaction is always to just like want to run away. If I run away, I don't have to address any of it. I don't need to deal with the guilt. I don't need to deal with the fear. I know that's not the answer. But yeah, this is my like little work from home errands makeup. I've been doing eyeliner on my waterline recently and I'm kind of into it. That's it.